seem that the FBI made sure for years that the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking mafia were protected. So it seems that the FBI made sure that Bill Clinton and all of his big, powerful friends, and George Bush and all of his big, powerful friends, and let's see, Prince Andrew and all the other perverts running around with Donald Trump's buddy, Jeff Epstein, they all got protected. The FBI dropped the ball and put all the complaints in the bottom drawer and did nothing for years. Hell, they even engaged in a secret plea deal to keep Jeffrey Epstein from having to spill his guts. This massive abuse of some underage girls that, well, I'm not going into that because everybody knows a lot of underage girls, they willingly participate in being abused. Not all the time, but lots of the time. They like the money and they like the sex, and, well, Jeffrey Epstein capitalized on that. But in any event, when the FBI tried to burn my home down with the ATF in Houston, Texas, in the middle of the night, using their FLIR aircraft, their Britain Defender, the same FLIR that was used at Waco, and their helicopter at about 20 minutes to 3 in the morning, when they tried to burn my home down north of Houston, Texas's Intercontinental Airport, when they tried to burn my home down, that was because they were protecting all the banksters that had molested millions of American homeowners. Millions of America's homeowners were molested during the 70s and the 80s, while the FBI made damn sure that the Bushes and the Clintons and all their fabulously wealthy campaign contributors got protected. Now to Christopher Wray. I got a message for you, Mr. Chris Wray with William Barr. That little gang operating out of the Houstonian estates, you know, the ones the Clintons used to visit all the time from Little Rock, the Bushes. You see, William Barr and Christopher Wray, the FBI didn't just engage in protecting Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, no. They protected the Clintons, they protected the Bushes, and they protected one of the most egregious, unbelievably massive financial scheming and scamming racketeering episodes in American history. And they're still doing it. The national mortgage settlement, the $25 billion national settlement, what is it exactly did the bankster gangsters do that resulted in a $25 billion settlement? How is it that they were laundering all that money, Christopher Wray? Now, FBI seems to have been protecting Jeffrey Epstein for years. And Epstein and Associates, his little investment firm. Jeffrey Epstein was fabulously wealthy because of who he was laundering money for. Boy, there's a concept for you, huh, Christopher Wray? And William Barr, you know what? You and Donald Trump are in the same business because you're protecting Deutsche Bank and you're protecting J.P. Morgan Chase. In fact, Donald Trump and William Barr and Christopher Wray are protecting the whole gangster-bankster industry from having to explain to the world precisely what it is that the gangster-banksters did to steal all the money in the first place and then, launder it through a lot of campaign donations. How about that, William Barr? Isn't that something? And Donald Trump, I got a message for you, my fat-ass friend. You're not that cute. And your speeches from Mount Rushmore, well, obviously you don't know anything about American history. And, this bankster-gangster bullshit, this Maxwell woman, she'll probably wind up making some kind of a deal and, releasing a fraction of the information to keep the Israeli Mossad's ass out of it and the CIA's ass out of it, because we all know that Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and George Bush and Bud McFarlane and Oliver North and Richard Secord and Robert, I'll think of his name here in a second, up there on Assembly Point. From the Glens Falls National Bank there, the old Glens Falls Trust Company, Bud McFarlane's friends. I'll move on. I'll have to think about it later. This financial screw job that the American public is paying for, the FBI has been protecting it just like they protected Epstein for years. Just like they protected the Bushes and the Clintons and all their big campaign donors. Remember the campaign finance scandal, everybody? Come on, get real. Now, the victims of Jeffrey Epstein will swear up and down that the FBI protected Epstein. Well, I'm telling you right now that when they tried to burn my home down at 20 minutes to 3 in the morning back in 1992 or 3 or 4, I forget, it's been a long time ago. When they tried to burn my home down by dropping flares all over the roof, Christopher Wray, I want to know why the FBI was flying my home with a Britain Defender in the first place. Come on, Christopher Wray, William Barr. Let's explain to the world why the Witham home was being constantly surveilled by the Waco Fleer plane, the Britain Defender. You know, you assholes. Assholes, that's what you are, assholes. Crooked, slimy assholes. Just like North, just like Secord, just like Poindexter, just like Casey. Man, I'll tell you what. Owens, there you go, Robert Owens. There, the guy that testified during Iran-Contra, Robert Owens. And just by coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, the Iran-Contra was being run from uptown Houston, Texas, out of the Houstonian Estates. The Iran-Contra was being run from Houston, Texas. And the FBI and the United States Secret Service made damn sure it got as protected as Jeffrey Epstein. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you wonder where trillions and trillions and trillions vanished into this giant banking fiasco that the United States has been perpetrating and involved in with Donald Trump and his buddies from Deutsche Bank, well, now you know. The great Texas bank job, toxic zombie developments, the great American laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation that the FBI has been protecting. They've been protecting the giant banking fiasco that everybody in this country now knows about because of yours truly. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, have a wonderful day. And to all my friends and family and people who wonder why I continue to fight this fight, well, I'll tell you what. When the flares were dumping all over my roof, when the flares were coming down outside the house, you shouldn't have done that to my children, FBI. You shouldn't have done that to my children, ATF. Dumping flares on an American home in the middle of the night like a bunch of cowards that you are, because that's what you are. You're a bunch of stinking, low-life cowards that have protected the banking scammers in this country for decades, like Deutsche Bank and Donald Trump, and we can, the Clintons, the Bushes, the Mossbachers. Let's get into it here, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it that the FBI has been protecting these money looting, money laundering scammers and schemers in the predatory foreclosure and predatory mortgage markets? On an international scale, no less. On an international scale, the FBI has been protecting this financial nightmare in the same exact fashion as they protected Jeffrey Epstein. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm leaving it right there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha, we're coming back.